What's up, jobbers, and welcome to a WrestleMania-sized edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania alongside for the right is a man that's not a fucking clown, not a nice guy. He could run a business. JC.
I could definitely run a business. I'd run a very good business, Wrestlemania. Yeah, like you said, it's WrestleMania week, baby. It's National Cody week. So tweet out your hashtag Cody Rhodes. You get your little, I see they got little emojis for everyone going on. Even Drew has one. He's excited for that. And had a funny tweet where CM Punk had one too, and it was a clown emoji. So, but yeah, you heard that guy right there, CM Punk. He kind of lit the world on fire yesterday in Nestlemania. We are going to talk about all that, but we figured it's WrestleMania week. We're focused on WrestleMania, but don't worry. We're going to get the Punky Boy at the end. You see Nestle's repping the shirt because his comments were super hot fire. tpublic.com/jobberknocker. Get your merch today, but Nestlemania, we are going to hit on WrestleMania. We are going to hit on NXT Stand and Deliver and all that fun stuff, but Nestlemania, we should probably just get through the other stuff first so we can get to Saturday and Sunday. WrestleMania 40, always in the shine, much like Mandy Rose, who will hopefully be a part of WrestleMania 41. Where would you like to start this week? It doesn't matter where you want to start because we're starting at the end of Raw, buddy, because you know what? This storyline fucking rules.
Listen, I loved watching Raw in general. Some of it was kind of pedestrian, but I thought the Rock coming out and getting some cheers, getting some boos, and then Roman came out and got everybody to boo, which was a great fucking tactic because the Rock clearly gets chant, one way or the other.
The Rock by himself gets chance, but when he's in the ring with Cody, he gets no chance.
Nothing's right. And I just love the idea of like he thanked the Rock, like really laying it on thick, just thanking the Rock. It's just so funny. And then Seth comes out and cuts this great, kind of, in the crowd promo with a lot of people taking out their cell phones and shit. And he says this whole thing about, I'll fight you or I'll fight. Like if he had fought the Rock on Raw, holy shit, you would have. The thing is they were already supposedly, if you believe the WWE, that was the best selling Raw in history when it comes to tickets, I believe, or the most people or the most tickets or something like that. But if they had the Raw with the Rock in the main event, everybody would have called up or texted their friends and been like, dude, the Rock's fucking wrestling on Raw tonight. I feel like I'm 15 again. That would have been astronomical. I know it's not going to happen ever.
They would have had to advertise. They would have definitely advertised it in a week in advance because the ratings would have been killer. But Rocky ain't going to be wrestling on free TV anytime soon.
No. I mean, if Brock Lesnar doesn't do it, definitely the Rock isn't going to do it. So,
and if Brock Lesnar does do it, he squashes our hero in 7 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think it was 8 seconds.
You know what? Maybe next year Netflix, maybe The Rock will wrestle. Probably not, because if you're going to have him, just haven't cut a promo. But
exactly. So that back and forth was weird, and of course we all got let down because it was Solo, who is Mr. fucking henchman. So it's fine, but it is what it is. But I thought that promo back and forth was great. Got a lot of good heat on The Rock because it came back to The Rock being like, nah, I am not wrestling tonight, and I think that was great because it's the tactic of the heel, right? The tactic of like, you want something, I'm going to take it away from you. That's wonderful. And I thought that was just great pieces of business there. And I thought Seth Rollins held his own because, we've talked about this. We know Cody can cut a promo. We know Roman can cut a promo. We know The Rock, although he does his fucking stupid tap dance routine, whatever, he's still The Rock for everything that we, joke about on this program. And it's Seth Rollins in the ring is probably better than everybody combined, but in the promo department, he is always kind of like, So I thought he did a really good job there. I thought it was very interesting. I don't know how you felt about it.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the opener and I enjoyed the close with them beating everyone down and Cody running out and all that. I thought it's been really good lead up for this because we were a little worried at first because we're like, oh man, Roman and Rock never work. But to Dwayne's credit, he has shown up pretty much every single week, and even here this week coming up on Raw. I think they did everything they had to do. I think they made Roman and Rock great villains with the beatdown last week from Rock to Cody, and then this week once again with them standing tall, and even Roman saying he was going to leave and Roman not leaving. I think it was important to me, especially that Roman was still there in the main event and actually got a little physical because he really hasn't done much. But at the same time, it's like Roman is a part of this. Like he is the quote unquote leader. And so it was nice to see the united front in Nestlemania. It's one of those things like this could be the last time we ever see like this tandem of these 5 men of the bloodline all together because, Roman said it. If he loses, he's retiring. Like, obviously we don't believe that, but It would at least mean he's definitely, we've expected when he does lose, he's going to be off TV for a while. We expect The Rock will probably not be around after WrestleMania either. So it just like this is something where it is like, yeah, there's a reason why that Roman Reigns documentary came out this week or last week, whenever it came out, because this is the end, Nestlemania. This is the end because Cody Rhodes must finish the story.
And if he doesn't, JC, I'm gonna have to hold you.
You might not see me next week if he doesn't fucking finish the story, because God, I'll be off starting my fucking TNA podcast.
Well, Dom will definitely like that. That's for sure. Dom will fucking. Yeah, it's fine. No, Dom will probably want to host it with you.
That's true. Me and Dom will do TNA. I haven't watched it in about a couple of years, but I'm sure they got people I might know.
Not people you're gonna like. That's
about they got Top Dollar. I see Tim tweeting shit about
it. He is a friend of the Knocker, so I can't hate on the dollar.
Top Dollar.
So look, I'm curious how you felt about the whooping, because I liked there's a couple of things here that I want to talk about. What I really enjoyed was the backstage segment with Solo taping up his thumb, and then they were talking, and then they, like Roman's leaving, and not leaving, but leaving, and then that happens, and then this is something that I wanted to bring up because you're gonna go, what the fuck, because it's Nestle, right? But I thought it was this is the happy medium, right? I have shit on this completely since it's been brought up, but I think this right here was my sweet spot, and it might involve because it was Kathy Kelly, probably, but the walk along with her talking to Seth Rollins while they were walking, I think that's my happy medium. I think I'm okay with that, because I thought about it and I went, having somebody just walk and talk to me seems odd, but having somebody try to catch somebody before they go through the curtain seems very authentic and realistic. And then he comes through like kind of like this weird like thing of boxes, and then he sees Drew McIntyre and says like, I'm not dead yet.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought that
was a pretty cool part of the way they did this whole entrance with Seth leading out, is that it was Drew McIntyre there, because it gives you that sense of realism. And I mean, obviously, you brought up Kathy Kelly. Of course, you're gonna like it more. She's a stud.
But I just think that like that to me is the formula. Having them walk that way, I think works. Having them walk with them, because then it seems like it's almost like a halftime at a football game, right? Like you're like trying to get back to where you're supposed to be. And I think that's a good little medium. But anyway, that's a good piece of business. And then they do the fucking whooping, which he said in that promo with Kathy Kelly, I always get a plan B. Now, he said it because of the Cody thing, but they're also kind of like playing that with you, that heartstring thing where like he could potentially turn because he did plan B before and, took out the Shield. So it is capable of happening, folks, but I did really like the whole thing of like The Rock beating him down, and then he had that giant smile, and out came fucking Cody Rhodes, House of Fire, and The Rock was selling the shit out of everything. So for anybody giving The Rock, nonsense about this, that, and anything, the dude was eating punches, taking shit. I was just hoping he was going to take a power bomb through the table or something, but that's beside the point.
We'll save that. We'll save that for the weekend.
All I will say is this, JC, is I really liked the whooping, but at some point it felt like, how much more uncomfortable can we get? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we're here now. We're here now because I mean, since Friday is probably going to be a clip show. Mostly with these guys, they'll probably be a backstage segment or something. But they're done. We're ready to go. And I mean, I will say the thing I enjoyed the most was I think it happened. It was either after the show went off the air or a different angle when The Rock was whipping the ref.
Yeah,
it was good. But I do think it was interesting. I know some people on the internet were like making a big deal. I don't think it really means that much, but. You know what belt The Rock was holding up when Raw went off the air? It was an American Nightmare belt. It wasn't his little Mama Rhodes belt. It was an actual Cody belt that he bought because deep down The Rock is a Cody fan, as all of us are. He's a crybaby at heart like we all are. Rocky, nice try. But yeah, no, I mean, this shit's going to be awesome, Nestlemania. Just like I was thinking about this like before we were coming on, and I was like, especially with Triple H in charge now, with his mind, with the things that fucking Cody's going to want to do, Rock's going to do. You have Seth's mind involved in this match. You have Roman, the genius of Roman, the genius of Paul Heyman. Like with this, they're going to fucking pull out so much shit. And there's going to be so many layers and layers of story callbacks between Saturday and then never mind Sunday with Cody and Roman. We're going to go through the whole fucking ringer of fucking like tributes and callbacks and things and little things. It's just like the storytelling we're going to get this weekend is going to be special. And I can't fucking wait because we're talking about some of the greatest minds in wrestling all coming together for this, and just like with that in all different ways, all different avenues. It's just like this is gonna be fucking awesome, and it's my expectations are so high, and they're probably still gonna clear them.
See, that's the thing. I'm looking at it from a perspective of I'm trying not to have expectations for WrestleMania because I really truly want to enjoy it. And I think for me, every time I set an expectation, mine are just astronomical, and that's just not fair to anybody that's putting on a great show. But it's hard for me because I've seen so much. I want to see something different. I want to see something that grabs me.
The Rock said they're gonna change the game, baby. They're gonna do stuff they've never done. So this is his chance to prove it.
Well, some people just have that used carsman's, car salesmanship where they're just
Did you
saying
hear
shit.
his speech before the first UFL game last week? And by the way, JC 5-0 betting the UFL this weekend. Call me a UFL sharp.
Not a crybaby.
I'm a showboat. A Memphis showboat. They won, by the way, and covered. But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, The Rock, he is. He's the ultimate. He's the ultimate salesman. But I give him a lot of credit during this feud because he put in the work. He showed up. He did things you didn't expect him to do. Obviously, he does what he makes it all about like him, and he gets to play by different rules than a lot of other people do. But it's the fucking Rock, man. You don't say no to The Rock. So it's awesome to see him completely buying into this and being such a big part of it. And like I've said the last few weeks, man, the more I see this, I'm like, man, I wish it was just Cody versus Rock night one. And just like, it's that singles match. It's like, man, this build has been so good, but I think those two are going to do a lot of work in this match. Cause honestly, I think The Rock's going to be doing a lot of work in this match, but there's going to be run-ins and stuff too. Cause Solo isn't booked. So, he's going to be a big part of it, but the stuff is so good, and I cannot wait till later in the show when we predict this match, and we come up with some scenarios of what could happen. So
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He says there's a noise in the background. Sounds like the dryer is stuck. So were you not part of the episode last week, Nestlemania?
No,
I have no idea what he's talking about. Would he like to get?
You don't remember your dryer obsession and getting a little stuck with someone and.
I think I should go check the dryer and see if somebody needs my help. Is that that's what I should do?
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go take my pants off. I'll be right back.
Oh, please don't do that. Make sure that webcam is off and disconnected because I don't want to see or hear anything from that box right there.
It's your refrigerator, Ryan. Thanks, Ben. You showed up.
Oh,
the boy Ben, the original fella twin. So anything else you want to talk about that's very positive?
Yeah, the banner of the week, hashtag JC's meat match of the week, Nestlemania. You know where I'm going this because we got size and flippy dippy. And what happens when you mix size and flippy dippy? You get a JC extravaganza. We had Ricochet, we had Ivar, and Nestlemania. This is what we call a fucking banger.
Listen, I was so excited. I was so pumped and jacked because you know me. I love Ivar. I mean, I've loved him since he was Handsome Johnny in this area. But man, Ricochet's been on a tear for the last, I don't know, you know what I mean?
He's only been back like a month and he's been having banners.
It's like every match that man's in, it's just like, does not matter, JD or Dom or anybody. It's just, it continues to happen. I love the thread. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, at the promo back there about the whole, whatever's going on there. But just so impressive to see him catch Ivar and do a, as we call it, the Scott Hall bag of shit. It's the follow away slam. But God damn it, it was fucking hysterical. And I was just like so super into this match and really loved it because I'm trying to like look at my notes while I'm talking to you. But man, Ricochet has been on such a tear and such a good piece of business throughout the entire kind of thing here. I would go and say that it's probably a slam dunk he's winning that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Well, I think we need to call it the Andrade Memorial Battle Royal because Nestlemania, you talked about it, so we're just going to intertwine it right now. The Judgment Day is all linked in this stuff because Ricochet's been a thorn in their side, handing those L's to the Judgment Day, and it's obviously caused some discourse, as we saw in their backstage start promos. Also, Dom doing stuff without Mommy and Daddy Priest's permission, without getting his permission slip to go be friends with Santos and inviting him over for a little play date, So, but I love all this because we know the Judgment Day is evolving after this weekend. We're going to get into the tag match and the stuff with that probably in a little bit, maybe another segment. But I love that Andrade's got like a piece here. And like, obviously that's kind of the centerpiece because you got to sell us with something with the Battle Royal other than like, hey, yeah, it's a bunch of guys in the ring. And so it's like, they literally said Andrade, take care of him for you. And Dom promised him a spot in the Judgment Day, and it's obviously causing some issues with Priest, but we know there's a lot of factors with Priest. So I just think there's so much story just oozing on everything, even stuff that doesn't seem important, but that's what's really made the last like year and a half, 2 years so special in WWE is like we've seen this like shift. And even if you think something's gone, it's not, because it does come back eventually. So it is very interesting. The Judgment Day is something that we've been waiting for them to break up for like 8 months, but every now and then it's like immediately when we're completely out is when we get dragged back in a little bit. And so I have a little intrigue here, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm like the biggest Ricochet guy in the world. And shout out Pat McAfee for dropping the Prince Puma reference. I didn't even know he was going to know back then, but I guess Pat McAfee, one of us, but so yeah, I loved everything about that, but that match, man. Whoo-wee!
It's hard pressed to have a bad match with Ricochet. I think it's one of those things like back in the day, they used to say the 1-2-3 kid. If you had a bad match with the 1-2-3 kid, then you pretty much didn't deserve to be on the roster. I think Ricochet is the same thing. If you have a bad match with him, then like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's not possible because he could just go out there and do flippy dips by himself, and people would be hemming and oohing and on. So
yeah, I mean, I hope on the back half of like, so once we get to not the back half, the first half of this year, I hope he gets something. You know what I mean? I hope he gets I hope this isn't just for the Royal Rumble. Sorry, for the Battle Royal with the Andre. Battle Royal, but I hope that he has more after this, because it feels like he's somebody that's been featured throughout this last 6 months to a year, kind of in these like weird one-off kind of spaces. But I feel like when he gets to after Mania, I feel like he might get more TV time and something more to sink his teeth into. I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously all for that, but I think he's the perfect guy to be like weekly on Raw. Go have a 10 to 20 minute absolute fucking banger and make someone else like elevate their game. It's just like he's that perfect type of guy. So
all right. Anything else you want to talk about that's very exciting?
Yeah, we're going to SmackDown and we're talking about the fucking diamond has shown up. The shiniest diamond in wrestling, Nestlemania. Jade Cargill is officially a member of Team Blue, and on her first night, her promo, you know what I loved about this? Her promo, short, sweet, to the point, boom. It's like, oh, okay. They didn't, a lot of times with these debuts, they overdo it, but no, it was perfect. And you knew later in the night, it was setting up for her to make the save. And we had the point with her and Bianca with Naomi, which is going to be an iconic shot to set up. We're not big fans of 6-person tags, but I am very for this one because I think this is cool. This is cool, and it's glad that all these women are involved. Obviously, we would have loved to see Bianca or Jade in singles matches, but just putting this all together, and it's kind of finishing Bianca's damage control story. But yeah, no, this was cool watching her come out and just beat the fuck out of damage control. Was it like a power bomb or something she did? I was just like, oh no, yeah. She's gonna be so much fun to watch. Like, give me all the single matches between her and Kairi Sane, because Kairi will just make her look like the fucking greatest wrestler of all time. So
the one thing that bothered me about that entire beat up was like I've seen on AEW when people get put in the jaded, that they start screaming, and Kyrie almost looked like she was having fun. And I was just like, knock it off, fucking sell. But it was still fucking incredible. And then she does the fucking like licking of the hand thing, and you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Her and Rhea are going to be competing for the most sexualized pin attempts. So
I don't doubt that at all. But so here's something that I want to talk about, because I think it does seem like we should expand upon this, is she had an entrance, not just an entrance, but a fucking superstar quality entrance here. I love The Storm Is Coming. I love the fucking, it was like a divided light thing, and then the snow came down. People thought it was Glacier for a second. That's a hilarious joke. But then she comes out, does her business, and then flexes and looks like a fucking, out of granite, flexing for everybody. And then she comes out and just looks like a star, like you said. Smells like money, must be money, right? So it's fascinating to me. What did you think of the entrance? And
as the entrance guy, Nestlemania, I absolutely loved it, because they took what like the building block of what AEW had done, which she had one of the better entrances by far in AEW, and they fucking WWE'd it. They made it even better. This thing at WrestleMania, like that, this is the thing. These WrestleMania entrances are gonna be so fucking awesome. Oh, I can't wait. And hers, like, anytime you put it in a bigger arena and have like the bigger effects, they all look cooler, but there's going to be little pieces. But yeah, no, I love what I've loved about what they did with her. And obviously, like, I think Cody kind of set the narrative for it. He just came in as what he was. He came in what he was. And I'm like, this is a good sign. Obviously, I don't think it'll be to that level, but she came in with her name. She came in with her look. She came in with her gimmick, and she pretty much has her entrance. And the song is very similar. They found a way to remix it so they could use it. It gives me hope. So when Ricky Starks shows up, it's like he's going to be Ricky Starks, because obviously with like the Pillman kid, they kind of redid. But I think when you have established stars like this, I think especially it's important for, especially when they first get there, it's like, let them just be what got them there. You know what I mean? And this looked like the Jade we saw in AEW, just on a bigger scale, which is what we expected when she got to WWE.
Now, I just be curious because you mentioned this a couple minutes ago. I love her entrance, right? But I like the idea of it being dark and seeing the snow and the storm. I am curious how it'll come off in the middle of the day in Philadelphia. Like, I don't know
Middle
if
of the day, the show starts at 7, bro.
Well, but I'm just thinking, like, is it going to be complete darkness? I don't know. Like, the whole thing makes me think that it's not going to be dark enough for it. That's all.
If it's going to be concerned that her entrance isn't going to be dark enough, they'll put it later in the show.
Well, remember that one time when Undertaker came out during the day? It was just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, I was in like California or some shit, right? That's
31.
more of an issue when you're on like West Coast because you're 3 hours behind.
No.
8 o'clock start time for us is 5 o'clock for them. So yeah, but it's like, this isn't fucking Philly, bro. 7 o'clock. It's gonna be 7 o'clock. It's gonna be fucking
still
dark.
light out at 7 o'clock.
It's gonna be dark by 8. Dude, it's gonna be dark by 7:30.
Okay, I hope you're right.
It's gonna be dark by 7:30.
By the way,
like tonight, I get ready for this podcast and I'm just like relaxing a little bit after work, and it starts to get dark at like 7:15, 7:30. Not gonna be an issue. Not gonna be an issue, Adam.
Who the fuck is Adam?
You.
Adam Burt. Adam Burtsky actually says here, such a good point because the symbolic entrances and music are so important, and all the new remixes for the WWE stars have been kind of generic and bad. I agree with that, Burtsky. My brother, Kenny Nestle.
Let's say your brother's here. We're not talking about AEW. I'm surprised.
No, Star Trek. I enjoy the show. Yeah, he makes fun of me all the time with my Geordie LaForge looking.
Kenny, I'm with you. The first time he did it, I just looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh no, this is how you're supposed to wear it. And I was like, yeah.
Listen. I'm already trying to brand my look with having a Nestlemania sticker right here, right across my forehead.
Fucking nerd mania.
Listen.
Okay,
you know what?
Dorkosaurus.
You know what I've realized is that if you keep parody. I can't even talk. Parody. Yeah, if you parody me, then that means it's working. So you know what? It's fine. It makes sense. Just saying. Anyway, Kenny's here, so that's fun. I'm sure he'll talk about AEW at some point in the chat, so we can get to that.
Tell me what I'm telling lies, Kenny. We're going to be talking about Punk later. Don't you worry.
And if Kenny's up at that point, poor bastard, he's probably going to go to bed, just like everybody else. Anything else that's really exciting, or do you want to get...
Yeah, let's get in the heat.
Look at this. Before we get into the heat, there you go. God bless JC for putting up with him.
Once a week for an hour plus, man. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
It's a penance, really. He does a lot of terrible things across the week, so he has to repent by being in this program with me. That's all.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, let's get him off my TV. Where do you want to begin? Because I have some thoughts of a lot of things.
This is your segment, man. You kick off. I have stuff that I think is a little interesting and weird, but I'm curious what you hated, because you hate a lot of things.
I don't care what you can't tell me that there's any way to make Karrion Kross exciting. And that entire
dude, that match is gonna be a fucking
that match is gonna be
fucking great.
It's gonna be great. The match is gonna be great.
I was like, fucking 6-man tag. It's Philly street fight.
Yeah.
These guys are gonna fucking murder each other. You know how much meat's gonna be fucking tossed around in this match? Montez is gonna be flying. This is gonna be fucking awesome.
I just didn't.
AOP, come on.
No, I'm talking about Friday. We're talking about Friday on SmackDown. That's what we're trying to get to here. I didn't like that whole thing, the whole getting jumped and the whole it was weird that Dawkins left to go do something. Like, I get it. Theory and Waller win, which if you read the dirties, we'll see if they actually end up in the ladder match and all that other nonsense.
I don't read the dirties, Adam.
So it is what it is. But there's so much going on there in terms of just that the whole thing is just not working for me. I really like the Profits, but I feel like the Profits and Bobby haven't been a big thing for me lately. And it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying that entire thing. And it doesn't help that you're pairing him with AOP and Cross. I'm just not a huge fan of that. So I don't care.
I think it's positive that Bobby's on WrestleMania this year because he wasn't last year.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm not, he's not going to, like Kenny said, he's not going to do his Jesse Ventura impersonation on the fucking microphone because it is really fucking good. But it's just little things he does. I'm just like, it's just not working for me specifically. But
it's because it's because his fucking hair, man. We all know it's always about the fucking hair. Just pull the string. Nestle complains about his hair.
It's true. It's true. Do you think it's interesting too that Solo on Monday had to deal with Seth Rollins, and then on Friday he's dealing with Jey Uso? It just seems
he's not on WrestleMania, so you gotta fill him up.
It's just like he went from beating Cena to losing like 22 in a row to now just being the fucking oopsie right before the big one. Like,
we were talking about this before the show, Nestlemania. it's when we got to WrestleMania season. It's like a lot of the like Solo is a big fucking deal. 9 months of the year, but these 3 months, like remember, like before all this, before The Rock came back, it was like Solo's the heir apparent, like Roman saying he's the next tribal chief in waiting, like blah blah blah. It's like, so we're gonna get there again, but it's like when Rocky comes in, it's like suddenly, yeah, Solo's a third wheel, and then you have fucking Jimmy, the little fourth man hype man. So it's just, it is what it is. But I mean, it's one of those things. Like Solo's still the enforcer, so he's taking care of Seth. Now he's gonna take care of Jay, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
We didn't talk about this. I didn't hate it, but I am curious your thoughts on it because this could be wishy-washy either way. On SmackDown, we had the Master of Disguise, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Teddy Good's local guy getting a quick shout out under the hood there. I thought that was great. But I'm curious how you feel about it because I feel like once we did the home invasion, there's not really much more we can do with it. It is what it is. We're seeing like we're not getting a stipulation. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that because I've said for like a month now that this match should have a stipulation, and I believe it's night 2, correct? Hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah, so it is night 2.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is night 2.
Yep.
When is that Philly? The street. So this is the problem. The Philly street fight is also night 2. Yeah, so I was hoping they'd be on different nights so you could do it, but yeah, it doesn't seem like we're getting one unless if they announce one on Friday, which they very well could. But yeah, just it feels like just a regular wrestling match isn't right for this type of feud. Like this needs something, and they still have the time to do it. But the fact they haven't done it yet, I think, is a little weird, and I will be disappointed if they don't.
Do you think that it's one of those things where they're trying to make it so that it's the beginning of something and not the end of something? Because a lot of WrestleMania is ending and culminating.
Dude, this thing's been going for like 4 months. I don't think they can do it much longer than. Plus,
this is the first match they've had.
I would assume. Right? I mean, AJ's worked a lot lately. He's probably taking some time off Mania. He's part-time, so. Oh boy, no! I feel like this is going to be a definitive win for LA Knight to prepare him for the new year and likely championship run sooner rather than later.
He is supposedly getting a new entrant, so maybe AJ's around. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe AJ Styles wins the big one. Who knows? We'll see.
I'm not gonna hold my breath there.
You never know. You never know. Better to chase, right? Baby face has to chase. That's what we always talk about. So who knows?
He ain't no baby face right now, though.
I'm talking about LA Knight, Dingleberry.
Oh, well, you're talking about AJ Styles. Well, he's been chasing that soccer mom bitch for months, man.
Yeesh. Yeesh.
I love AJ.
Yeah,
I'm glad they both have singles matches as we've talked in recent weeks. Okay. What else?
Moving over, we have an 8-man tag with fucking Judgment Day and all those guys. It is what it is. Not a big, yeah, whatever. I'm curious what you felt about the Sami Zayn stuff with Gable in it was kind of Rocky-esque, right? How'd you feel?
It doesn't resonate with me.
Really?
Kind of the way we talked about it last week. It's and you kind of hit on it last week when it's just a reminder that it's Chad Gable makes way more sense to finish the Gunther story than Sami Zayn does. And by having Chad Gable ride his coattails, it's them trying to be like, but yeah, no, we're going to have Sami do it, but Gable's going to be involved. But it just doesn't resonate with me. Like I give them credit for trying this thing. And I love both these guys. Don't get me wrong. I do love Sami. This felt like this is the perfect Gable thing. And who knows, maybe Sami does come up short and then he helps Gable and that whatever leads to that. But at the same time, right now, it's just not resonating with me because it just doesn't feel like it's the right decision to me. And that's my opinion. Maybe some people think it does, but to me, it doesn't resonate with me. So I was watching it and I'm just kind of like, it didn't feel right.
I think the hardest part for me is, and this is just the logic for me, is Sami Zayn has been on the higher, you know what I mean? Like getting help from somebody that, I'm not saying that Gable's not on the same level, but like Sami has been up here. So getting the help from somebody below that hasn't had that experience seems odd to me. You know what I mean? Like this should be Gable getting an experience from somebody that has gotten to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get over Gunther for the last time. So when I watched it, I went like, it's really good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining, but I just every time I see Gable on my television screen, I think to myself, I want him. I want him.
It's a reminder that I was like, no, we want him in Sami's spot. Like,
right. Yeah. And that's not a detriment to Sami. It's just that Sami's unfortunately slid into a spot that he is not supposed to be in.
This isn't his story. We've talked about his story is the World Heavyweight Championship, winning a world title. That's when once Cody's story is finished on Sunday, the next guy in line that we all want is Sami Zayn to finish his. Like
Right.
he is the next guy in line. There's always that next guy. When you finish one, is always the next guy of like, this is the guy that deserves a world championship run. Like it's Sammy. Once Cody is done, it's all attention we will be putting towards Sammy. It's like, and it's not an intercontinental thing. And it's one of those like, yeah, him beating Gunther is cool. And in the history books to say, oh, Sami Zayn's the one who bet it. But like, Sami Zayn doesn't need it. Sami Zayn needs to win a world title. Chad Gable beating Gunther, that'd be the biggest moment of his career. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. But again, they did a lot of good stuff with it. I'm not really,
Yeah, good production quality, but it doesn't resonate with me.
Right, of course. But then it goes into the Sami Zayn and Reed match where he gets distracted, who wins, but gets distracted after the kill of Gable and all that stuff, which again, babyface, in a puddle of his own piss and blood, heel, Gunther standing strong. So it makes me think that there is a real shot for, Sammy to win this thing. But
it's set up for Sammy to win. We'll talk about it more in predictions, but they definitely set the picture for him to win.
Okay. Anything else that you didn't like, actually?
Well, I think we got to talk about the tag titles, and the fact that you didn't bring it up in the Shine means that we should probably talk about it here. This was weird, right? So obviously, I'm all about it's a fucking ladder match with tag teams, kabooms, and my guys Waller and Theory are in there. We got like all the fucking athletes, and it's just like, oh man, this is gonna be so much fun. And then Michael Cole has a line being like, both sets of tag titles will be suspended above the ring, and the match will not end till both sets are pulled down. And this is the problem, because we talk about this stuff all the time. And the problem I have with these type of stipulations is like, say Waller and Theory pull down the SmackDown tag team titles. It's very anticlimactic because the match isn't over. It's like everyone, including probably still them, can fight for the other set. So it's like, yay, you won a championship, but it's like the match. You know what I mean? It sets up a weird thing. Now look at, like, obviously if two of my favorite teams win, I'm going to be ecstatic and we're going to finally have the split, which is what we want. But this is just a very odd way to do the split. And it seems like it was a very half-cocked last-minute decision. The fact that this wasn't mentioned at all until randomly Michael Cole just mentioned it the Monday before WrestleMania. So it feels like they were just kind of like, yeah, we got to split these things up. And this seems to be something that came together last minute. So that makes me even less, but I don't know. The anticlimactic part of it is what kind of it makes it a tougher, it kind of changes the whole dynamic of the match now. Right. So I'm curious your take.
So I think I tend to agree with what you said there, but the only thing I would say is it automatically devalues the first titles that are picked. Like right
now, you could argue those are the more important ones because those are the ones that got grabbed first.
Maybe, but I think like the match still continues, right? So it's
no, it does.
It's just like I think they
lose.
The thing to me is like if they're not together, I get that, but like here's the thing, they could have just put up one title each. You know what I mean? To make them tag titles, like one red, one blue. You know what I mean? To be like symbolic of them winning the matchup. They didn't do that. They decided to put two sets up there. So we know we're getting two sets of tag teams winning this thing.
Which is, at the end of the day, what we want. This is probably the last avenue I would have chosen to get there, right. But here we are.
My question to you is, and we didn't ask TJ because he's the director of predictions. Do we pick two tag teams then?
If we you could. So I think
and if
either
we're
pick the same tag team twice. Like, say you think Judgment Day is going to retain, you have them win both. But yeah, no, I think this is like two results, which is fucking confusing as hell because it's going to be two. There's likely going to be two. There's two winners either way. It's either the same team winning twice or two different teams winning. So yeah, this is a 2-for-1 special, baby.
It's bizarre, and I feel like
it's very bizarre.
I think like they were all out of their tank after that. Like, you know what I mean? They definitely thought about everything. And
this was something they just said. You could tell last minute decision because it just the fact that it wasn't announced at the beginning and it was just an offhand comment by Michael Cole 5 or 6 days before they defended. I don't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday. We'll get into that when we do predictions, but it felt like
Mm-hmm.
But if Awesome Truth and Waller and Theory win, I won't be complaining.
That's true. Very freaking true. So I honestly forget how many teams from SmackDown are in this thing.
I think it's 4-2, I believe. 4-2.
Good God. New Catch Republic. If that wins, JC's going to vomit in a fucking bucket, I'm sure.
I mean, I like those guys. I just hate their fucking name.
Yeah.
Change your name. You're bait and done. Done and bait. Master bait.
There's for Danny. Master bait.
Yeah.
So really quickly, just so we get into this is a super nitpicky thing, but it's me and it's the fucking heat, so it's negative. There's something about Dakota Kai and anybody else in the promo saying WrestleMania XL. I'm just like just say WrestleMania, just say WrestleMania 40, just say that shit. But every time I hear WrestleMania XL, I'm like, it's not a shirt size. It's not a fucking shirt size.
God, I wish you told me this sooner because I would have been doing it every fucking week. Welcome to WrestleMania XL.
It's just stupid. It's like was small the fucking first 10, you know, like it doesn't.
Yeah, it was small, medium, large. Now we're on extra large.
We just say to like a JC, I'm gonna beat you at WrestleMania XL. It's like, what the fuck? Am I
I
in a
can't
big
wait
ball
for
store? I don't
XL.
understand. No. It's just like nobody gives a shit. It's one of those things that takes me out of fucking something.
This is the most Nestle fucking thing.
It is.
Nobody fucking cares.
Oh yes. If you went back and watched, you said WrestleMania XL. It's like, you know what people don't say? I won fucking Super Bowl XL. They say Super Bowl 40.
Some people might say that.
No fucking way. No
It's an
fucking
extra large
way.
Super Bowl. This is an extra large WrestleMania.
No one's, you say Super Bowl and then the number. That's it. Or I won the Super Bowl. That's it. You don't
Super
say
Bowl
the Roman numerals. Nobody says the Roman numerals.
I just
never. They didn't say WrestleMania XXX. They didn't do that.
They probably did.
They didn't say WrestleMania XX. That was stupid.
They probably did actually.
No, it was Dakota Kai reading a script going, "Oh, say XL." It was stupid. It was fucking stupid.
She has a way cooler accent than you, so she can say XL if she wants.
Oh, she is pretty cool. I'll give her that.
Yeah,
anyway, you want to get hopeful?
Yeah, glorious. You're my only hope.
Would you like me to go first?
Sure, because mine's better.
Well, there you go. Mine be bigger though. Who knows?
It'll be longer, but it won't be bigger.
Well, sometimes people want longs instead of shorts. Anyway, my hope is very, very interesting, at least for me. I have a couple of ideas, but I think I'm going to stick with the one that I think is the most obvious and fun here. If you watch on Friday night on SmackDown, it was the Legado del Fantasma coming out, and then they were challenging with Dom against Rey Mysterio and the newest member of the LWO, which I cracked up when he said, who's it going to be? This one, or the non-Latino? I was just like, Jesus Christ, Dom.
Dom's the best, man.
I love it. Anyway, this is where I'm thinking in my head, right? Like this is a lot. This is a lot to concoct, but right when I watched that promo, I went, this is what's got to happen. Carlito looked kind of like, what the fuck, right? So I think this is what happens here. Carlito, like, it was great because Dom fed the line. And again, with the Triple H era, I think there's no throwaway lines. There's always a little crumb of truth, right?
Yeah.
So I think that he said, like, I don't know if it was him, Dom, or if it was Santos. Maybe it was Santos. He said, like, you keep, betraying or letting go of these people who really, truly love you. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, Dom, yep. And Ray, yep. And then Santos and Ray, yep. And I'm like, Carlito's the next person. And then I'm like, oh my God, Carlito with Santos and Legado Fantasma. Legado del Fantasma, excuse me.
The cat of Fantasmo.
Yeah. It's almost as bad as my Firefly Funhouse. But it's just like, so that happens, and I'm like, that's gonna fucking happen. Have fucking Dom and Santos win because of Carlito's fucking just getting upset nonsense. But the additional kicker is Monday night, right? Fucking after, Judgment Day loses, the fucking tag titles. JD can't get Andrade out of the fucking Battle Royal or Ricochet out of the Battle Royal. And then, maybe Rhea still retains. We'll figure that out later on. But I was thinking to myself, this is a really interesting dynamic here where we could have no Judgment Day, Dom heading up a faction of Latinos and other heels where it's Dom, Carlito, and Santos and everybody else. And I just like the visual of that is so fucking cool to me that I was just like, I am so ready for Dom to lead a faction. I think he's ready for it. And he's like a little shivering, little shit. Like he's just like a sniveling shit. And then Carlito's kind of got the muscle. Santos has got a fucking, good credentialed background. So I'm in love with this. I really think it's going to be fantastic. And this is my hope because Dom as a leader of something would be fucking chef kiss. I'm ready to go.
The sooner we get Dom as a world champion, the happier I'll be because it'll make everyone else so fucking upset. Oh, it'll be like, give me your tears, virgins, because I'm fucking thirsty. Oh.
If he could win Money in the Bank too, and that'd be like,
I thought so. He had a chance last year, and they didn't put him in the match because obviously he had the match with Cody. But he's the perfect guy to win Money in the Bank. They gave it to the Raw Judgment Day member, but it is what it is.
I just think him and just those three, like as like a thought, like looking at the three of them, I'm just like, yeah, that's fucking cool. That'd be fucking
They
awesome.
can all play darts together. It'll be cool.
Yeah, it'd be great. Fucking great. So there's my hope. Hashtag Nestle knows. Hashtag Nestle knows. So there you go.
You just did the same hashtag twice.
Yes.
That's why you're not a professional. Nestlemania, my hope is pretty simple. This Sunday, live and in color at Wrestlemania in Philadelphia at number XL. It is going to be an XL main event between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes in Nestlemania. I'm looking directly in the camera for this one because Cody Rhodes does not want, does not need, he has to finish the story. This isn't a hope, even though it's in the hope. This is a have to. Another H word. That's 2 words. Have to finish the story in WrestleMania because it's time. It's time for the Dream's son to get it done. Oh, that rhymed. Love that. But yeah, Cody Rhodes finishes the story. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. And they're going to put us through the ringer to get there. We're going to have the Saturday Night Palooza. We're going to predict that soon, go through that. Sunday, you know, they're going to pull out all the stops with all the comebacks, all the memories, all the perils, all the plights, all the other P words that are negative along the way. They're going to be part of that match. But it will end with Mama Rhodes' little boy, likely bloody, holding up that fucking piss championship. The Universal Heavyweight Romantic Roman Championship of the world, and finishing the story. Whoa!
Kenny Nestle, I would like to say that on record, when I hosted the show, I called this 8 months ago. What did you call 8 months ago? That Cody Rhodes was going to win? Like,
you know what, guys? I'm going out on a limb. Cody Rhodes is
like, what are you trying to say, Ken? What are you trying?
He's probably talking about the Dom thing.
Maybe I don't remember. I'd have to go back and check.
Yeah, it would be very Adam to steal something from Kenny. You know, the more.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's not bad enough. I'm 4 years older. I got to steal his fucking wrestling takes too. Jesus Christ. He'll pop up with something in a second. He's smart enough that, yep, the main event. The main event of what? The tag match, you mean? I don't understand what that. I don't.
Well, as he comes up with the comeback, we're going to go to our comebacks. WrestleMania. I'm going to SmackDown, and I'm giving it to Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, who had a backstage segment with Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis was impressed. He was kind of hoping I would probably get cut in a dryer there. But yeah, no, they're getting my comeback because it was a reminder on WrestleMania week that they are here and hopefully on to big things after WrestleMania because they're studs. So yeah, they get my comeback.
Well, there were 2 people that, you know, enjoyed Isla Dawn a little bit more than you, but that's okay.
There were a lot of people that enjoyed Isla Dawn.
That's true. That's very true. My comeback goes to, it's right here, folks. I mean, we haven't talked about it yet. We can talk about it in a little bit, but man, like, CM Punk is my comeback for obvious reasons. We'll get into it in a little bit, but just a taste of it. We had thought about everything that we thought about AEW, and it is true. It is true. It is 100% unequivocally true. And I love what he said and did. And I think you guys have made fun of me over the years, JC specifically, that I was a CM Punk guy. I was no longer a CM Punk guy, but this
you used to love when he got caught in the dryer.
Oh yeah, of course. And then
that's right in there.
Yeah, exactly. And then, man, like he just upset me in so many ways, and I'm just not a CM Punk guy. But this was the first part of repairing my relationship with CM Punk, so I have to give my comeback to CM Punk because I just thought, what a great piece of business, what a great fucking content piece to grab my attention for an hour. I was hanging on his every goddamn word, and I just thought, you know what, like I was probably wrong about a lot of stuff, being a fan, you know, and rightfully so, some of it, but some of it not. And man, that was like a great first step for me to be back. Kind of maybe almost on the bandwagon, potentially, possibly, maybe hashtag Cyberduck opportunity, if you get my drift. So, what?
Nothing. It's your comeback.
Yeah, that's my comeback.
Yeah, it was a little green. But yeah, Nestlemania, we, like you said, we are going to dive a little deeper into Punk, but we figured we'll get through WrestleMania first because I don't know if you heard, but that's kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. But yeah, believe me, dude, that shit was just fucking porn. It was just so good. Oh, so good. But yeah, we should get to the big old finish. We'll quickly hit on SmackDown here because we have some matches, and we call them the WrestleMania appreciation matches. Well, first we have the KO show with Randy Orton, so that'll be fun. We also have, like you mentioned early, Solo versus Jey Uso will be what it is. Schmoz. Electra versus Zelina. finally going head to toe or head to head. I just said head to toe. Jesus.
Well,
some people might enjoy that. And then we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Nestlemania. Who you got in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
I'm just gonna pick Ricochet. I just something about Ricochet. I mean, I'm sure Andrade is gonna win. This is a not a prediction thing, so it's like, I mean, we're not picking for points, so I'm gonna go with Ricochet.
You're so right. I wish this counted our predictions because I'd be right. Braun Breaker's winning the fucking Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He's been in showcase mode on SmackDown. The people who the storyline are around for the Battle Royal, very rarely do they win. So yeah, there's gonna be something with Andrade, JD. They're gonna get out, and my runner-up, if Braun for some reason isn't in this, I'll go with another Bron Bronson Reed. Would be the other one that I would think. I feel like they're giving it to a big guy that needs it, someone that's had a good year, but it's a great way to highlight someone new. And look at who's Braun Breaker's tag team partner in WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
What did Baron Corbin do on his main roster debut? He won this fucking thing. So I think it would work for them as the Wolf Dogs. So give me Braun Breaker to win the Battle Royal there.
Was he even in the graphic? I didn't even look.
No, but it doesn't mean he won't be in it. The guy's on SmackDown. They signed him, made a big deal about it. He does fucking 1 minute squash matches. Not even 6-second squash matches.
All right.
Like I said, if he's not in it, I'm going with the other Bronson Reed. So
there's Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and
someone's name who starts Bron will win the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. How about that?
Okay, that's fair.
Should we get to WrestleMania, or do you want to do NXT first?
I think NXT is probably a better idea.
All right, let's piss through NXT.
Okay.
We have a singles match for the NXT Championship. Ilya Dragunov defends against Tony D'Angelo. I'm excited for this match. It's something new for Ilya. I think Tony's someone who I could definitely see as NXT champion. I just feel like when Ilya loses, that means he's probably done NXT, and I don't think he's done yet. So give me Dragunov, because I think Trick Williams probably has to finish his story, and it'll mean more against Ilya Dragunov. So I think Dragunov retains.
I tend to agree, especially where this isn't the main event and it's not the focal point of the story. And I think that Ilya has been kind of like a stud for a very long time there. So I will also pick Ilya to win this one as well.
Next up, we have a tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Champions. Ships.
There you go.
Baron Corbin, Braun Breaker, the Wolf Dogs defend against Nathan Frazier and Axiom, who qualified while we were recording. Give me the Wolf Dogs to retain.
The Wolf Dogs. I was really hoping it was going to be the Good Brothers, because I felt like that was going to be an interesting piece of business. But it's the Wolf Dogs all the way for everybody.
Next up, singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. This is the first one I think is kind of interesting. Lyra Valkyria defends against the woman who never lost it, the newly heel Roxanne Perez. If she isn't being called up right away, I could see her having another short little run here and transition to another babyface. So I'm going to go on the limb on this one, Nestlemania. I'm going to pick Roxanne to pick up the win and win her title back.
I was going to pick her. I'm going to pick her as well, because I feel like what I've noticed in interviews with Shawn Michaels is what he's trying to do to prepare people for the main roster, no matter what happens, no matter big or small it is, he wants them to be able to portray a heel and a babyface relatively well before they get to the main roster, which I think is smart, because I think because they're gonna ask you to do both, right? And they don't want you to come out without knowing how to do it. So I think that's great in terms of Shawn Michaels finishing school, right? So for me, I'm going to also pick Roxanne, because again, she's got age on her side and she's fucking talented as hell. And I'm kind of enjoying this fucking kind of had enough,
the character change has been very, very good. It's definitely worked for her. Next up, triple threat for the NXT North American Championship. This is the hashtag NXT meet match of the week. Oba Femi, big fucking man, defends against two other big fucking men in Dijak and Josh Briggs. Oba Femi's going to retain in this Nestlemania, but I'm excited for the fucking meat collision in this one.
I just, every time I hear the name Oba, I think to myself, he's a fucking unit.
He's an absolute fucking unit.
He's a fucking unit. Oba! Like, it's just, I'm falling in love with him a little bit every time, just because his
promos are great, because his accent is real. This guy's great. He's so good already.
It's so
he's had like 7 matches.
It's unbelievable, the athleticism in that man and the height. Like, I know we joke about you can't teach that, but man, like, you really can't, because I'm thinking to myself, we're never going to see. We missed out on Braun Breaker and Brock. We missed out on fucking Gunther and Brock. I would have loved to see Oba and Brock. That would have been fucking awesome.
Never say never. Time heals all wounds. The racist has been doing shit for WWE for years again now. So
All right.
Yeah. Next up, Nestlemania, the May. Well, hold on. Please hold.
What happened?
There is a 6-woman tag team match that was added
To fucking NXT Stand and Deliver?
Yeah, so I refreshed the page and a 6 match appeared. So we have to pick this.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Breaking news. We have a 6-woman tag team match, playa. We have Thea Hale and Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan taking on JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. These names all kind of like rhyme. It's kind of like a song. I will take the baby faces because I feel like Thea is someone they've really put a lot of work into. And that she's going to kind of have a moment here and probably get the pin over JC Jane with help from Fallon and Kalani. So give me the good girls.
This is where he's going to be mad at me, but I'm typing in women's 6 tag because I'm not writing all those names down right now because I'm in the middle of a podcast. So I'm just going to put baby faces and baby faces. Sorry, TJ, you're going to be real pissed at me, but you know what? We're trying to help.
Nestlemania, you can fix it after the show.
That's true. I will do that after the show just because I love TJ.
Yes. And then now we have the actual main event. I'm glad I hit refresh because look at that. We have a singles match for the Cool Throne. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. The feud. Because it's probably Carmelo's last match in NXT, I would assume. And I think he's laying down for his boy Trick, who is going to be the one to probably beat Dragunov down the line and finish his story. This match is probably going to be fucking awesome. These guys have a lot of history. Their feud has been one of the best NXT feuds in a while, and we've had some really good ones. But give me Trick Willie to defeat Mello.
Did you see the video package for this, by the way? It's insane.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like Jeremy Borash, excuse me, did a great job with this whole thing. Like there's so much meat on the bone. There's so much history. So I was enthralled with it. And obviously I'm a big fan of both guys. So this is going to be a lot of fun, really a lot of fun. And again, it's the main event for a reason. So there's no other way to put it. And so I expect them to go balls to the wall. I think it's going to be really good. Shawn Michaels is going to have his handprints all over this one. So I pick Trick.
Yeah, pick Trick. That's the way to go. Hashtag pick Trick. All right, Nestlemania. It is time for what everyone has been waiting for. Our WrestleMania XL predictions. 13 matches as of right now. I should refresh this page too, just in case. 7 on night 1.
Hold on, before we get to that, did we find out who ended up eating the eating contest at 4:00 today? Was it Otis or Omos?
Wait, what?
You didn't see that?
No.
All right, go to YouTube after this. Big E hosted an eat-off. A meet-off between Omos and Otis. I haven't seen it. I think it's probably hilarious. Can't wait to watch.
That is an interesting matchup because, Otis, obviously, we know can definitely put it away, but Omos, that's a lot of man to fill up. Like, that's another thing. That's Mania. Oba versus Omos. Lashley versus Oba. Oh, God, you're right about the Lesnar one. That would have been, but like Gunther versus Oba, imagine how hard-hitting that would be.
Trifid. Fucking A, Ben. Sorry. No, but Oba's gonna be a fucking like.
If you guys aren't familiar with Oba Femi, like he is a unit.
I'm probably not gonna be an Oba guy. Like he's not gonna be my guy. But when he's on my television screen, there's no denying it. He's a star. You can't look. Nature. You've never seen anything like him. That's what it is. You've never seen anything like him.
He's a unit. I don't know how else to describe it. He's an absolute unit. Well, we have plenty of time to talk about Oba in the future, but Nestlemania, we're on the present. WrestleMania XL, 7 matches, night 1. Becky Lynch, what she gets, she wants. It appears she will be kicking off night 1 of WrestleMania, taking on Rhea Ripley in a singles match for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley's been champion for, I believe it's over a year now, because she won it, last WrestleMania? And it's been over a year. Will her story and her reign end in WrestleMania against Becky Lynch?
I'm hemming and hawing this one, but I'm going to pick Rhea.
Yeah, I am too. This match, I think, is going to be one of the matches when we look back. I think it's going to over-deliver for the weekend because I think we've discussed how the feud leading up hasn't been as good because it's been weird, whatever. We didn't really talk about it all this week, but I feel like when I set this up for Becky winning the Rumble, or not Becky winning the Rumble, Becky winning the Chamber and getting here, I felt like this was more about Rhea kind of getting those definitive wins here with Nia and Becky down the stretch. And I think we've discussed, we kind of want Liv to be the one to finish her story against Rhea and eventually dethrone her. But Becky doesn't need it. I think Becky, this is another thing to check off her list that she gets to kick her music, gets to play first at a WrestleMania. So I think that'll be cool, but yeah, I'm picking Rhea to retain as well.
Something that really bothered me, I believe it was on Monday when they did the CM Punk and, Ariel interview, and then they did the afterwards was Rhea, and then they had the fucking pull apart, and I was just like, man, did you really need that? Did you really fucking need that? I don't think you did. I really don't. And I think like, so
You're
we
such a hater. It's
no,
so
no, no, no,
funny.
no, no, no.
You're just such a hater.
No, I'm not, because here's the
You're
thing.
just such a hater. It
No,
wasn't
but
that
here's
bad.
no. But here's the thing, right? Like you've talked about this all the time. Building anticipation for this is like they've already hit each other a couple of times, right? Like they've already got into like fist cuffs and all that stuff. Like a lot of these other matches, like Cody barely has touched The Rock until he slapped him and he fucking punched him a couple of times right now, but he's still got fucking murdered in the ground on 2 Mondays in a row, right? Like we're waiting for Cody to fucking overcome, right? Like other matches on this program, it's like Jimmy and Jay have fought a little bit, but not a lot. Like I feel like it's been overexposed with this whole. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely, and I probably am. But like, and maybe it's a little bit of hate. But like, I'm not looking forward to this matchup. There's a lot of it I am looking forward to. This is not one of them.
You're a hater. Well, next up, we're going to go in order. I don't know if this is what people think the match order is going to be, or I think this is, or if how Triple H tweeted out is the match order. But singles match for the Intercontinental Championship, Nestlemania. Gunther defends against Sami Zayn. And look, I've said for like months now that I think Rhea and Gunther are the two champions that likely retain. But man, if this is the order and they're back to back, one of these two is winning. And if I'm very adamant that Rhea is winning, I don't want it to happen. But I think Sami Zayn's dethroning Gunther at WrestleMania, so I don't want it to happen. My heart's saying I hope Gunther. This match is going to rule too. These two guys are fucking awesome. It'll be another one we're going to look back and be like, whoa, that was really good. Because Gunther doesn't have bad matches, and it's fucking Sami Zayn. But I think Sami is going to be the one to throw him and get that moment at WrestleMania. And, he's not going to have his wife and kids cry again. So there it is.
Yeah, I think Sammy's going to win as well, just because I feel like they've gone out of their way to make him Rocky Balboa, and it's just not enough. But they're going to do it anyway. And I'm not going to be happy about it. Like, again, going to be a great match. But like you said, we've said over and over again, it should be Gable. It should be Gable, and I'm sticking with that.
He's ready, willing, and Gable, but they're not ready and willing to give it to him.
That's true. Very true.
He stuck his neck in the dryer. He's sitting there waiting.
It's never the neck in the dryer. It's
no one's coming to pull
fabric. It's somebody's dress, or it's somebody's t-shirt or bra.
He got his towel caught in the dryer.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
No one's there to help him pull it out.
Exactly. That's it.
Put it deeper in.
Yep, that's true.
Next up, we have a 6-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. You think my tongue twister is done? No, because the stipulation is the match will end after both titles under the Undisputed Championship banner, the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team titles, have been retrieved, making it possible for the titles to split between two teams. And the teams are the Judgment Day, made up of Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the champions, defending against We Are DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, The Awesome Truth, which are the Miz and R-Truth, The New Day of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, A-Town Down Under with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, versus the worst fucking name in wrestling, New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, the NCR, the news radio program. I hate that fucking name.
I know you do.
It's so bad, man.
I'm pumped for this. This is gonna be
it's gonna be fucking a car wreck.
It's gonna be a car wreck. Johnny. The thing is that to me, I feel like Johnny Gargano and DIY could win. Like there's a case to be made for all 6 of these teams. But for me, I'm really excited to see if Awesome Truth win or if DIY win. Dark Horse, Waller, in theory, but everybody else is like, Judgment Day's had it for a while. I don't want them to win. New Day's done 100 fucking tag titles. It'd be great. They've been doing good stuff, but I don't want them to win. And then New Catch Republic, they're too new of a tag team. They've been kind of thrown together a little bit. I'm not interested. So the 3 tag teams I'm cheering for, the 3 that I hope win. So that's my thought. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and just because you grab the SmackDown titles doesn't mean you have to be from SmackDown. That's my 100%. Thought too. So
the way I'm looking at this, and I think we can break it in a minute, but I'm trying to think of a way for this match to be less anticlimactic. And I think if a heel team, which I believe there's only one, the champions, the Judgment Day, win the first set of tag titles, let's say they grab the Raw Tag Team titles, I think it lessens it. And then you have maybe the babyface team pulled on the last set of tag team titles, like, oh yeah, we overcome. But there is a second heel team in this match, WrestleMania. So this is what I would do. I would have Waller and Theory pull down those SmackDown tag team titles and become the SmackDown tag team champions. And then I would have the Awesome Truth pull down the Raw tag team titles and become the Raw Tag Team Champions. And it ends with that, with R-Truth and Miz holding the titles over Priest and Finn, finishing R-Truth's story. But I'm not so sure they're going to do it that way. I have a feeling. I do think Awesome Truth is going to get their moment as the Raw champions. You can write that down.
Okay.
But I think the swerve is going to come. I think DIY is going to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It's Triple H's boys. And I think you would love this. Think about them feuding with Waller and Theory, them feuding with Pretty Deadly, them feuding with the Legato. I think there's opportunities for that there. Obviously, the New Catch Republic could do it too. They're already on SmackDown, but I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like DIY is going to get a little bit of a moment. Mm-hmm. It's going to be weird though how they book it though, because like if that's two babyface teams winning, like I have it, one of them is going to be kind of nerfed a little. So I'm curious what you think.
So I was going to pick these two teams, but I'm going to flip.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I'm going to switch it up though. All right.
Okay.
Because I think with Netflix going to Raw, Miz will go to SmackDown because it's on USA to go with the Miz and Mrs. thing eventually. So I think Miz and R-Truth on SmackDown makes a lot of sense and being like the oopsie daisy, we won it again kind of thing. So I'm going to pick R-Truth and Miz to win the SmackDown championship. But for Raw, I really do like DIY. I really do, because I feel like it's Triple H's baby with DIY. And I feel like those guys are like the wrestling tag team. And they can go for longer matches on Raw. So even if you pick one and I pick the other and it's different belts, then we don't have the same ones in points. Because it has to be the right tag.
I don't know how that's going. We'll let TJ make the scoring decisions in terms of that, because we're both picking the same teams in theory, in Austin Theory. So yeah. I mean, this is a confusing one, but look, this match is going to be awesome. It's just the ending might just be kind of like, So I'm curious how they do it, because obviously if you're the team that pulls down the first set,
why wouldn't
you still pull down the second set? So
but why wouldn't you pull both sets down? Is my thing. Like,
well, I'm assuming they're going to be on a different, like, not if they're all together. Then
they're going to be capturing a fucking flag,
or it's one of those things, Nestlemania, where they time it and they're all up there at the same time, and one team falls. Oh, this is how you do it. I fucking have solved it. It's fucking Awesome Truth and DIY with Judgment Day in the middle, and they fucking take out Judgment Day, and each of them grab a tag title, and they're each holding it over. They're going to do some bullshit. That's how you make it less anticlimactic for a finish. It'd be very corny, but that's probably how they do it.
I'm not in love with that at all. I'm
not either. The ending of this is going to be weird, but it's we'll be watching. Next up, Nestlemania, we have the Uso special, the Yeet match of the week, a singles match between Jay and Jimmy Uso. No stipulation needed here. I will say Jay Uso's entrance at Wrestlemania is going to be fucking dope, and I think these two, like, their shit they're going to pull off in Nestlemania. They are going to do so much shit. There's probably going to be a ton of callbacks here. And I do think this match might end with a little bit of an Uso, respect card thing. Mm-hmm. And kind of lead, because we think the bloodline's going to be dissolving. It's weird. I would have put this match on Sunday because I thought that was kind of it. So maybe not. Maybe this is kind of a setup thing. But we'll see. But I'm going to pick Jay Uso, but I'm not as confident as I would be if this was on Sunday.
I think that Jimmy needs it more for sure, but they haven't built it in such a way that Jimmy's going to really do anything. They just kind of let him slip on a banana peel. So I think that Jay has been the fucking guy forever. This is just a layup for him. So I'm going to pick Jay because, again, the entrance is going to be fucking fire. The whole thing is going to be awesome. And again, I'm trying not to have too much expectations for this matchup because, again, one of my favorite matches of all time is Brett and Owen at 10. I thought the Hardy Boys brother match was fucking dog shit at 25, but that's me. And so I'm really hoping this match brings everything they got. Because, I mean, those two potentially can have a great match. We know that Jay's got a lot going on, but I really like what they've been doing with Jay Uso. So this should be good. And I'm hopeful for this one.
All right. So we line up again. Next up, we have the 6-woman tag team match. Bianca Belair, who's normally on her own against the wall, but not anymore in Wrestlemania because she has Jade Cargill and Naomi by her side to take on the Damage Control of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, the women's tag team champions who will not be defending. But Nestlemania, I think another story finishes in this match because I think Bianca Belair finishes her 2-year story with Damage Control. There's no way Bianca, Jade, and Naomi are losing.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
This could be a fucking squash, depending on time.
I mean, the fact that the minute that Jade entered that fucking match, there's no way No fucking way is she losing at WrestleMania in her fucking debut. There's no way. You
also
can't.
Bianca undefeated at WrestleMania.
Right, you can't. There's too many things that they have to fucking check off. So yeah, it's a
Naomi
no-brainer.
also, I think, has an incredible WrestleMania record. I think she's won the title like 3 times there. So
yeah,
the deck is stacked against the Damage Control.
I just hope that Jade gets the fucking pin, like just to do the fucking.
Yeah, she's gonna be.
Oh,
someone's
boy.
getting sexualized on Sunday. That's what we're gonna start calling it. Becky, hopefully, and then whoever gets pinned for Damage Control in this match. There's gonna be a sexual pin-off.
Yay!
That's exactly how it sounds. Next up, we have a tag team match player between Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee, the future of Lucha Libre, as Rey Mysterio calls him, taking on Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now, this one I think we have to discuss a little bit in Nestlemania because I don't think this is a layup. I think your hope definitely makes a lot of sense because I saw the same thing with Carlito, and I saw that he will definitely, if it isn't on Saturday, it's coming soon where he's going to be a factor. But I think it's also like, I think Ray's big thing has always been he kind of wants to have his last match to be at WrestleMania with Dominic. They obviously did it last year and he's still going. In my mind, I think his dream has kind of evolved because I think he's seen Dom evolve into this whole other thing where it's like, I think Ray's dream would be like, I'm going to give my son the mask and he's going to have it. But I think it's one of those things like you realize Dom doesn't need a fucking mask. Dom is just such a big star on his own and he paved his own way. And I think Ray as a father is probably so proud of that. But I think he looks at Dragon Lee as like, he's obviously not his son, but it's like, he's the guy that I want to hand this mantle off to, the guy that is going to be wearing the mask where the little kids are going to be wearing it and he's doing the cool moves and he's the next quote unquote Rey Mysterio. And so I think this match, I look at it and I was like, man, I don't know if it is the end for Rey, but it would make sense to me if it was because he has the guy that he's kind of handing the Rey Mysterio aura off to in Dragon Lee against someone who idolizes him in Santos. And then his fucking son on the other side. So in terms of Rey Mysterio dream matches, I think this is it. And for that reason, I think you can make a very good argument for the baby faces. But I think the points you laid out earlier is the way you could make it out for the heels. So I'm going to let you go first on this one, Nestlemania. I'm curious. What avenue do you think they're going?
Dragon Lee is not even fucking close to being Rey Mysterio or the future of Lucha Libre.
But that's what they're trying to make him into.
I understand.
He's brand new.
They did that with Sin Cara and
Dragon Lee's a lot better than Botch Cara. Come on.
I don't know. If you put him in Mexico, you'd probably see a difference maker. But I'm just saying. Anyway, they're not. They've been searching for a replacement for Rey Mysterio for the last 15 years. Rey Mysterio is special. He is a special person. There is only one Rey Mysterio, so you can never have somebody take the mantle of Rey Mysterio. It's like fucking trying to find another Batman. You could try to do it, and they've done it in the comic books, but it's not fucking Batman. You know what I mean? So Rey Mysterio
with Nestle here.
Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying Dragon Lee he's amazing talent, but he's nowhere fucking near the ability in terms of
no shit, but they're trying to set him up.
I'm not buying it. But I'm telling you, I'm not buying it. So give me fucking Santos.
You're not a fucking 6-year-old who's gonna be buying masks. They don't give a fuck what you think, Mr.
Clearly they don't give a fuck, but I'm trying to fucking prove a point to you, you fucking asshole. I'm trying to tell you something.
I'm taking your point and I'm shoving it straight up your Dragon Lee hating ass.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Wonderful. Are you done being a fucking asshole? Are you gonna?
No.
I'm picking Dom and Santos. What are you gonna do with it, numbnuts?
I'm picking Rey and Dragon Lee.
There you go. Okay. Fine. There you go.
Latino World Order.
You picked the fucking terrible fucking faction.
Yeah. We'll see.
You're a fucking idiot.
We'll see Nestlemania because the heels definitely always win at WrestleMania.
No, I'm just saying, man. You know.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
You're wrong about this one.
I don't give a shit. It's fine.
I don't give a shit. I'm Nestle. I don't like masked wrestlers. I think they all stink.
That's not true.
Next up, the main event of Saturday. It is a tag team match. In Nestlemania, I have a lot of reading to do on this one. If Rhodes and Rollins win, all members of the bloodline will be barred from ringside during the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match on night 2. But if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, the championship match on night 2 will be held under bloodline rules. The bloodline, The Rock and Roman Reigns, take on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking World Heavyweight Champion Rollins.
I'm sorry. Before we get to that, there's two comments that are great. Bertsky saying you would hate Dragon Lee, shaking my head, and then of course Ben coming from the fucking top rope saying if Ray loses, Nestle has to wear the Dragon Lee mask. No, you mean if Ray wins, Dingleberry, and if Ray loses, this fucking asshole should wear a Dragon Lee mask.
I picked
All right?
Dragon Lee to win. I have no issues
I know,
with
but
Dragon Lee.
what he said doesn't make any
You're clearly
sense.
the hater. You're the one who doesn't like the future of Lucha Libre.
That's not true.
You
I'm
know
just
why?
saying,
I just figured
he's
out.
not it.
I know. I know why you don't like Dragon Lee, because you can't fucking see his hair, so you don't know if he has hair or not.
I can see
that's why you just
none
like
of Rey Mysterio's hair.
That's probably why. I mean, Rey Mysterio, you've seen it without his mask, so you've got
Rey Mysterio was one of my favorites growing up. So I have
because that was before your hair obsession. This hair obsession developed as you aged. You fucking weirdo.
If Dragon Lee wins, Nestle does the next episode from his dryer. See, we can't do that because I live in an apartment complex where I don't have my own dryer. So there in itself isn't a problem. So there you go.
Gonna do it from the counter. Some lady's gonna walk in. Excuse me, sir. Are you stuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I can help you. Role reversal on that one, but you didn't think that was coming.
That was good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so Bloodline's winning because they teased the Bloodline rules on fucking Monday, and then, like we talked about, you got to stack the deck against Cody because if The Rock's not involved in the main event on Sunday, you're fucking high out of your goddamn mind. So I can't do it. I cannot pick Cody and Seth Rollins to win this fucking thing. I think there's too many variables. Bloodline wins on night one.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely, the greater theater is the experience of the chaos of Sunday, setting up Cody needing the Code Vengers to assemble and help him take down the bloodline of Jimmy and Solo and The Rock and Heyman and God knows what else they pull out the bag for this one. But yeah, no, I think this match is going to be insane. I think they're going to do a bunch of shit. I am going to be fucking terrified that Cody or Roman gets hurt and ruins night two. Oh, God. Even so, imagine if Seth gets hurt and can't defend his title and he can't fight McIntyre. That almost would make the McIntyre story even better. But there's so many. That's the thing. McIntyre probably going to be a factor in some form in this match to kind of set up their match for Sunday, give that a little extra juice. But yeah, Nestlemania, I'm picking the Bloodline as well because Cody's going to need those Code Vengers, and we're going to get more into it when we discuss night two. But yeah. So we pretty much agreed on everything except for you incorrectly picked Dom and Santos, and we'll be wearing a Dragon Lee mask next week on the show. And if you don't own one, you have to paint it on. So your fucking Star Trek looking ass can have the future of Lucha Libre on your face as well, bitch.
Well, some might say a mask is an improvement from my face, Doc. What do you say?
I mean, that'd be my favorite episode ever because I wouldn't have to look at you.
I do have a Lucha mask. It's just not that mask. I will wear it if you want me to.
Yeah, you have to paint it.
No. I'm not painting.
Have your kids do like an art project. Be like,
no.
Hey, kids, paint on this mask.
No fucking way. No fucking way. God. I'll wear a Lucha mask the whole time. I won't be able to see shit.
Half-assing it. Unacceptable.
Do they even sell Dragon Lee? Do they? You keep talking. I'm gonna look and see if Dragon Lee even has a mask on shop.com.
Who the fuck knows?
Probably not yet.
We head to night two, and I'm assuming this is the order. And that the night will be kicking off with a singles match we just discussed for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I'm assuming CM Punk's music will kick off the show because he will be on commentary for this one. Seth freaking Rollins defends against Drew McIntyre. There's a lot of things to unpack here. We kind of discussed it a week ago when we found the stipulation that kind of both these guys hate Punk and Punk hates both these guys. He could screw them both. We could have a Damian Priest factor in here, fresh off losing his tag titles. It's time to make him the World Heavyweight Champion. Does it come during the match? Does he do to Seth what Seth did to Roman and Brock so many years ago? And we begin the show with Priest spinning the title above his head. Or does Drew McIntyre just win and he's the champ? Or does Drew McIntyre win and Priest immediately takes it away from him because of CM Punk? There's so many possibilities here in Nestlemania. So I'll let you kick off first on this one. Who do you think wins the match of the World Heavyweight Championship? And who do you think walks out as World Heavyweight Champion? Because it could be two different answers.
I think we've seen enough of Seth as a champion. I think it's Drew McIntyre's time. Now, if he walks out of there, I don't know. That's the hard part here. So I'm going to pick Drew to win this matchup. I think CM Punk cost both of them at some point, whether it's after the bell or something in the middle of it, and then Drew just makes something happen there. You made a good point last week when you said Damian Priest said we're going to have a big night as individuals at WrestleMania. But I feel like Drew McIntyre needs this to hold on to for a while. So I'm going to pick Drew McIntyre to win and keep it.
I'm going to pick him to win.
Okay.
But I'm not going to pick him to keep it because I think so much of this Drew story is like, yes, this will be him getting his moment to hold the world title above his head at WrestleMania. But I think it's also the Drew McIntyre story to have it immediately taken away. And I think CM Punk's going to cost Seth Rollins, whether inadvertent or not. And Drew McIntyre's going to take advantage, and that's how he wins it. But then Punk, after realizing that, I think it's going to cost Drew McIntyre the championship because Drew has done nothing but drag Punk through the mud since the Royal Rumble. So Punk costing him the championship and Damian Priest taking advantage of it and Drew having his moment but not walking out with the title sounds like the optimal scenario to me. So I'm picking Drew, but I do think Priest cashes in. Priest leaves WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. That leads up for a bunch of avenues for Judgment Day. It also steps up CM Punk and Drew McIntyre to the next level. It also, if Punk isn't ready to come back yet, is McIntyre chasing Priest again or something because we think Priest is a possible turn there, depending on what happens with Judgment Day. There's so many different ways they can go with this. I think this is one of the more intriguing things, and it's all obviously connected to the stuff that happens in the main event on Saturday as well. But yeah, I think Drew wins the title, but I think Priest walks out the champ.
So do you get a bonus point? We'll have to ask TJ.
No, that's not part of it. We just picked the matches. Now you can pick Damian Priest. If he makes a triple threat and wins, then whoever picked Priest would be correct. So I think it's going to happen after the bell.
So then you'd be wrong if Priest just interjected and made it a triple threat, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I picked Drew McIntyre.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We're picking Drew McIntyre to win the match.
All right, but I'm putting Drew McIntyre and then Priest in your predictions. Is that what you want?
No, you don't have to do that because we don't pick cash-ins anymore.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. No, there's no more of that because it's too convoluted. But there are 3 people who could win this match. It's McIntyre, Rollins, or Priest.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to be fair to you when I'm writing this down.
No, McIntyre and Priest can win the match, but not walk out with the title, and that's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
Next up, Nestlemania, we have a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. The Genius of the Sky, Io Sky, defends her title against her former Damage Control compadre in Bayley. And Nestlemania, Bayley's finishing the story. New champ, short and sweet here.
I mean, Bayley has to win. What story she has to finish? She's just winning. I mean, it is
her
what
Damage Control story, bro.
Bro, it's so Bayley or bust.
We're finishing so many stories at WrestleMania. It's so exciting.
Bayley for the block and the win.
And she's going to be a babyface again. It'll be cool. We haven't had that in a while. Next up, singles match with no stipulation yet. Hopefully they have one. Yeah. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Who you got?
I could go either way on this one, I think. And this is the shit that's going to drive me nuts because you and I are going to pick most of the same stuff. So I feel like stuff like this is what's going to separate us. I feel like if AJ Styles is getting a different presentation, then that means there's a chance he could really potentially win and go somewhere and do something with this. But LA Knight has had a meteoric rise as well, and he needs something. He needs something after this one. And I'm trying to think of like what happened on Friday, right? Like it was the Master of Disguise, and they did something. So AJ's still kind of standing, a little tall here. I don't know. I'm going to pick LA Knight.
They still have another show to do something here with them.
I feel like I'm going to pick LA Knight, but I'm not going to be thrilled about it. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to pick LA Knight with my heart instead of my gut. So,
well, I don't pick based on anything except for what I think is going to happen in Wrestlemania. I've never picked with my heart ever on this program, but I think LA Knight's going to win. I just feel like he's the one, like you said, with the rocket on his back, ready to go. It's probably going to be for potentially the U.S. title, maybe if we think Logan Paul's going to retain. Could see that feud happening down the line. But yeah, no, it feels like it is LA Knight and, AJ Styles. He doesn't really need anything at this point except for to be there. And I think for him to get a title match of any kind, he doesn't need to have a fucking win. He's AJ Styles. So give me LA Knight. Yeah. Next up, that aforementioned United States Championship will be defended in a triple threat match. Logan Paul defends against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I'm low-key very excited for this match because I think there's going to be a lot of fun shit. A lot of fun shit in this match. These 3 guys are all so fucking good. And the dynamic between all 3 of them is fucking awesome. Randy and KO have been the buddy-buddy thing. But I think the KO show is going to kind of set up, be like, hey, guys, we're actually opponents on Sunday. So the dissension there is going to be something to watch. But Logan Paul always wants to do crazy shit because he wants to go viral. So there's going to be some sort of him taking some ridiculous RKO in this match. And it's a triple threat. So that makes it very easy for either Logan to lose by not getting pinned or Randy to lose without getting pinned. Either way, I think poor Kevin Owens is eating the pin, but who cares? Kevin Owens has main evented 2 WrestleManias already. He doesn't give a fuck. But this match is going to be awesome, and I do think Logan Paul is going to retain.
I don't think either Kevin Owens or Randy Orton needs the United States title, so I feel like Logan Paul is going to do a great service to that title the longer he holds it, so I'm picking Logan Paul. It's short and sweet.
Brass Knucks probably be involved as well. Next
up, right. There's no DQ in a triple threat, so there you go.
Exactly. Do whatever he wants. 6-man Philadelphia street fight. The Nestle main events. The Pride, the second dumbest name. Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford with B-Fab versus the final testicularment of Karrion Kross, Akam, Razor, and Scarlett, and Paul Ellering. Oh my, there's so many. This match is probably going to be fast. It's going to be the fucking thing right before the main event. So they're probably going to be over. It is probably going to be a fucking slop jalop, 6 minutes of violence, and I'm going to fucking love it. And I think the Pride's going to win. It's going to be fucking Bobby and the Prophets fucking hulking up, throwing around my big fucking goons, and they're going to do some spots with Scarlett and Ellering. This is going to be ridiculous, but it'll end with a prideful pose to end it.
See, I'm surprised you didn't pick Cross.
Why?
Because I feel like they need it. No?
I don't know. Okay. Maybe.
I'm just wondering how you feel about it. That's all.
I just feel like the only way this feud ends is if the Pride wins. And I think everyone wants this feud to end. So
it's not ending though. It's just beginning.
I don't know.
They've never had a full fucking match.
It's been going for like 4 months, dude.
My question is what's next for them, right? Like that,
I don't know.
Like
if they have split tag titles, it makes it a lot easier for both these teams to find work. And like Bobby and Cross, they're both singles guys. They'll be fine. And we talked about it. We're going to be a post WrestleMania season. There's not going to be fucking 45-minute Rock promos on every show. There's like this thing. It's not going to need Cody double dipping on each show for the first week or two. Sure, they're going to do the cross brand shit, but it's going to settle down, and there's going to be opportunities for everyone to get more time. And that's where guys like Lashley and Cross get more opportunities.
I'm going to pick the Pride, but again, I just feel like I should
pick Karrion Kross. Pick your boy.
No, I don't
pick
want
the hair.
I don't want
hair. It's guy with hair versus a bald guy, and you're going with the hair. You're going with the bald guy. I mean,
the thing is I feel like a Philly street fight means it's going to be babyface wins. So it's a nothing match. So I feel like and they've never gotten their comeuppance. So I feel like I have to pick the Pride. If the Pride had actually had their fucking comeuppance at any point in this entire thing, they've been fucking beaten every time. Every fucking time. So they have to win here.
Coward.
Yep.
Next up, Nestlemania.
This is it.
TBD match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The stipulation to be determined by the result of night one's main event. We think it's going to be Bloodline rules, which means there's going to be a lot of shit that's going to happen, and it's going to be a roller coaster that will eventually end with Cody Rhodes finishing the story. But they're going to have all the Bloodline bullshit coming, whatever. They're going to have all the shit. And Cody's going to need to call up the Code Vengers, like I said. And we're probably going to get John Cena to take out Solo Sikoa, like we discussed last week, and Stone Cold to take out The Rock. Leaving, finally, the singles match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. We're going to get the tease of the Solo Thumb. That's probably going to be when Cena comes out. When that happens, like they're going to hit the music right as he's about to do it or some shit. It's just there's going to be... This has the potential to be absolutely fucking insane, and I cannot wait for it. But as long as at the end of the night, I'm popping champagne with a tear, many tears probably, in my eye, as the American Nightmare turns into a dream and finishes his story at Wrestlemania Extra Large in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in front of the world. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Ben says, "Are they flying JC out to Philly for the reaction shot for Cody's winning?" I mean,
they're like the fan package after, and it's probably gonna be me, like with my tits out, jumping around, being all happy,
with a tear in my eye. This is the greatest moment of my life. Whoa. Anyway, can I ask you this? So you're picking Cody clearly.
Yeah, no shit. He's finishing the story.
What
End of discussion.
What if?
No,
Hold
I
on.
don't play what if games.
What
My
if?
dad always said to me growing up, whenever I tried to say what if, he said, I don't play what if games. Nestlemania, look into my eyes. What do you see? The no what if of questionality.
Sure. Let's say Cody wins and then gets cashed in on.
I mean, that would be funny. That would be funny. That would be because that's kind of like
That's kinda what I'm
we
thinking.
kind of joked about this as being like Cody, like if that's what happened with his dad. He held up the title and he didn't have it. But I just there's no way. There's no way at the end of a WrestleMania they do that. That fucking place might actually like they stormed the court in basketball and the football. They earlier this year at one of the schools they stormed the field. They stole the goalpost and threw it in a fucking lake. Yeah, that fucking field would be stadium would be burning down. We've seen Philly in fucking parades. There's fucking
that's true.
shit
That's
flaming,
true.
things on fire.
That's true.
They because believe me, that thought has crossed my mind for 2 years thinking about this because it would be fitting, but I think with just the way this is played out and like the road that we've been on, the roads we've been on, I don't think they have the balls to do it.
I would love that. That would be such.
I wouldn't hate it because that means Cody beat Roman. That's all I care about. Finish the fucking story.
I know.
Whatever comes after comes after. It's that moment of I want to hear that 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 and the fucking music to hit, and the fucking fireworks, the fucking to set the flames in the sky, not in the fucking streets of Philly. So,
man, I was gonna. You know what? It was funny. I was gonna pick Priest for a second there, or even Roman, but like. You make a great
pick
point.
Roman.
I just
pick Roman Reigns.
I can't. I can't because I feel like I don't want to. I don't want Roman Reigns. No, I'm not picking Roman Reigns. It's got to be Cody. It has to be Cody. We might not have a program next week if there's not a Cody win.
Yeah, I don't know if I can if I'll be able to watch WWE for a while if they fucking don't do it. It's like last year it was fucking awful. And it's one of those things. It's just if they can't, I don't know what's the end game if they don't do it. Like I just don't see it's because it's not just me. Like it'll be a full on like riot more than last year, and I think that's why it's like you can do it once, but the second time, and like we already saw it this year with them trying to do the Rock Roman match and the absolute fucking. Like overthrowing the fucking WWE government to fucking cry our way to get Cody back in the main event, and it worked. I think they know, and I think everyone knows that it's just like that's why I think Roman dropped the retirement line too, because it's everything's on purpose. So there's no fucking they can't do it to me again, WrestleMania. This ticker can't take it.
I don't think anybody can, but
Super hot fire moment of the year. Cody Rhodes finishing the story at WrestleMania. That is not a preview. That is a spoiler.
If you're not even, you won't even let me record you. So I'm sure Doc will have to record you when you fucking, you have your reaction. So
I can't predict the future, but I can predict that Cody Rhodes will finish the story.
Okay. So we've gone on pretty long. It's a WrestleMania size. It's an XL size, as we say on the program here. We didn't get to talk about anything else except CM Punk, but we could talk about that in a minute. I am curious, how hyped are you for WrestleMania right now?
I'm very excited. The lead up for so much of this stuff, and it's mainly obviously the main story, has just been so fucking good. And it's Cody Roman was already big, but like, look I've made fun of The Rock the whole way, but it's like, he's still the fucking Rock. Like I love seeing this guy as like the biggest star in Hollywood. It's like, he's one of us that's out there and he's the biggest star in the world. Fucking, he capsized football company, but whatever, they united and now they're United Football League. But it's like the jokes are well fine or whatever, but this is insane, the amount of work that he has put in to be a part of this, and just it made it like next level. It's made it like you could even say that like Roman's been like a side piece. This feud is like Rock and Cody right now, but it's like Roman Cody doesn't need to be sold. It's going to be sold with this match ending. So the hype for Mania is real, because usually it's like I look at the card and I'm like, oh yeah, I like the main event, and night one looks like the better like matches, and it's kind of like that this year. But the main event of night one is so good too. So it's just the rest of the card is a lot of good stuff too. But to me, it's like there's no loss with these two main events. Like it can't be a bad show with these two main events because they're both gonna leave you on fucking notes, low and then high. So
my thing is I'm actually more excited for night two than I am night one this year, which is I did not expect. But that's just me.
Interesting. But I
Potentially.
feel like most people like the matches on night one more.
Like, I'm not excited for Becky and Rhea. I'm not excited for Gunther. And again, these are going to be good matches. And
those are both going to probably be two of the better matches.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, for me, my anticipation factor is not interested because of what we talked about. I'm interested in the Usos match. That's going to be fun. The ladder match is going to be a car wreck. I'll enjoy it, and then the Belair 6-woman tag, is going to be fun, but I'm just waiting to see what Jade does. You know what I mean? But then when you go to the next night, it's like fucking Rollins and McIntyre has my attention. The fucking main event clearly has my attention. I'll even go as far as to say Logan Paul and that match.
I'm very excited. That's very high on my list.
Yeah.
If I was doing JC Super Hot Fire ratings, I'd probably be in the top 5. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, there's a lot more to look forward to. And again, like, there's going to be moments in there that we're not even thinking about, right? So I think that's the magic of WrestleMania. That's the magic. That's our
Little Wave's dropping a single, baby.
Couldn't give less of a shit about Little Wayne.
Yeah, because I mean, look at how you're wearing your headphones. This is all you need to know about you.
I am clear. I'm not even white. I am clear.
I'm pretty pasty too, but I respect good music. Lil Wayne's the fucking man.
No way has he got good music.
Oh my God, Nestlemania, you just alienated half our audience.
Good Lord. Wayne. I'm gonna go to Ben. Ben's the real rap guy.
Don't let Ben hear you say this. Good Lord.
Well, Ben and I don't have to agree on everything. He likes fucking Sheamus more than anybody else, so it is what it is.
Sheamus on this card.
Yeah, exactly, because he's fucking hurt again, poor guy. Anyway, we didn't get to talk about CM Punk. We should probably wrap this up, but let's talk about the CM Punk stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm fucking excited. I had my peepers popped, as JC says, when I listened and watched this entire thing from beginning, middle, and end. I thought this was actually wrestling porn. Like, it was absolutely fantastic. The fact that he was uncomfortable made me feel like this was legit. Everything we said about Tony Khan, even though we had no fucking clue about him, makes everything real with somebody like that. I didn't. Here's the thing, and I'm, I'll be completely honest. When I look at CM Punk, I don't look at somebody that can really fucking kick somebody's ass. So I never really believed that Tony Khan was fearing for his life, because I believe
he could kick Jack Perry's ass, because I think I can kick Jack Perry's ass.
I think I could kick Jack Perry's ass. You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, to me, it's like CM Punk has, to me, never been a threat. Like, I'm sure he's a fucking tough dude, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'd shit my pants if I had to be in a room with Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley, fucking, like, real dudes that could fucking hurt you. CM Punk is not on that list of people I'm afraid of.
He's not Brock Lesnar level, but if you and CM Punk were locked in the room, he would beat the living fuck out of you. He'd beat the living fuck out of me. Because I'll say this. The man, he made an embarrassment of himself in the UFC, but he also fucking went in that cage. Not many people can even get to that part that he did. And he got fucking his ass beat, but that guy's still fighting and still in the UFC. So it is what it is. It's like, so there are, what you're saying though, is there's levels. There's the Brock Lesnar level, and CM Punk's obviously not anywhere near that tier, but he still beat the fuck out of all of us.
Oh, absolutely. But so, and like, to go off of all that, it's just like, he's saying he's a clown. He's a nice guy. He's, like, the fact that, like, he asked him to take care of it, not once, but twice, and he still didn't do it. It's like, for as much as we don't like, we'll say redacted McMahon at that point, because that's who he is. We don't like him. We don't like what he did. But there was an intimidation factor when you're a boss that you don't cross the boss. I'm sure Triple H has that as well. And other people in different, like, when you're a boss, you have to have some type of, like, fear factor or respect factor. I don't even think I'd go out on a limb and say, I don't think people respect Tony Khan.
Well, here's the thing. Cause I think this is because it's the headlines are all Punk being negative on AEW, but it's also like, he very much wants them to succeed and loves it. And he even said, he's like, I think Tony's an amazing person, because he is. And I don't think, the way I look at it is like the intimidation thing. I think that's a very old school thing, like, that's worked in companies, where I think a lot of times now it's like, yes, you need to earn respect, but I think there's different ways to earn respect. And I think the biggest issue, and the stuff that Punk hit on, and the thing that I've been saying all along with AEW, is Tony Khan, like, he's a good businessman with some things, but he's not good at running this wrestling company. Like, we've said it, this is a vanity project for him. The reason why AEW exists, why it will continue to exist, is because he can dump money into it. The reason why companies fold is because they don't have money to back it. Tony Khan is an endless pile of fucking gold at the end of his goddamn rainbow from him, his daddy, that he can just keep throwing at it. So he can take losses. He can overpay for talent. He can take the losses and not filling up arenas. And that's why I've always said none of that shit fucking matters. What matters is if Tony Khan still fucking cares. Because it's like CM Punk's the exact same thing. If Tony Khan cares, it will exist. And I will say this, and Punk has the same thing. AEW is a massive positive for wrestling because it is an alternative for some people who want it, but it's also like, think about all our favorites who we probably never would have seen much for again, that who have lost their jobs in WWE, or people that we never would have actually gotten the chance to see because of AEW. And I think that's a big part. So it's like, yes, we love to shit on Tony Khan in this program, and he's a terrible businessman, and everything we've thought about it is true. He's not, he needs to have more people help him run it. He needs to, certain things, but every single wrestler pretty much who's worked there fucking loves the guy because he's an awesome human, because he's a good friend. He's a caring guy, but it's one of those things when you have situations like this, when you have combustible personalities, when you have incidents, yeah, you do need someone that can do fear. And if CM Punk, like he said, he's like, I asked him several times to address it and he just didn't, then yeah, that's poor leadership. And it's bad when he's saying like, the other guys like Tony Schiavone's come up to me and being like, can you handle it? And he's like, you want, like, it's just this. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting in this was Punk talking about Collision, like literally he was in charge of the show, because we kind of didn't know how this worked, but it was just like Punk was talking, was like, yeah, he's fucking in charge of the show. I'm like, man, he really did just be like, yeah, CM Punk, you can do whatever you want in this, and you kind of run the show. And I was just like, oh, no wonder this thing got sour quick, because CM Punk's awesome, but you give this man power.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like pouring alcohol in a fire, man. What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah. The other thing that I thought was interesting too, and we kind of talked about it, but it does bear repeating here, is the mindset of drawing money and the indie mindset of just having a good
100%.
matchup. And I think that, like, we've talked about it over and over and over again. Wrestling matches to me don't matter. It's the moments that matter. Like, you go back, you cannot tell me that you can remember every spot or everything in a match. You can't. You remember moments that make you feel something, that stand the test of time. Those are memories. And those are the things that matter. And it's true, like, you listen to everybody, but it's true, like, when you see something in WWE, they take the moment to slow down and get that close up. In AEW, they haven't had a moment to slow down and take that close up, and they've done it every once in a while, but they haven't made it like part of their formula. And they're just not interested in making money. They're more interested in having good matches. And when I heard that, I went like, it's true, but also, like, people believe that wrestling in the ring is an art form, and it is. But to me, I don't think there's a difference between AEW and ROH. Like, ROH was the wrestling version of the alternative before AEW came along. And it did great when it first started because it was so good about the wrestling, and it had some great feuds and great moments and stuff like that. But again, it only got so big and went so far because they cared more about the wrestling product. And we've seen right now, like, watch fucking what are we talking about for 45 minutes in this fucking program? We're talking about run-ins and fucking blood and fucking people getting beat up in a parking lot. Not
has blood.
No, I know, but well, yeah, that's different. Mox is just cutting his way through it. But I look at it like it's night and day. And I'm not saying AEW can't fix it. It's just, I don't think they want to. Like, they just don't want to fix it. I think that's what it comes down to.
I think that's the nail on the head. And that's, to me, because like everything like you're saying and Punk said, like, I agree with. That's not how you run a business. That's not how you draw money. But again, it comes back to AEW. They don't actually have to do that to sustain, which is insane, because that's why I think it's so hard for people to wrap their head around, because we've never had an instance like this where someone this fucking rich can just have this toy and dump money into it, and it doesn't matter. And honestly, that's why it's like, again, we love shit on AEW, but it is such a positive that we do have it, though, because this is like an unheard of thing. As long as Tony Khan has interest in it, this thing will exist no matter how many empty arenas they have, no matter how few people watch Rampage. He's still fucking signing the top free agent talent in the world and fucking paying them millions of dollars despite not bringing in a fucking dime half the time. It's an insane paradox. And I do think from Punk's perspective, it's just like he came up a different way, and he's designed to do things a different way. And yeah, I mean, AEW, we've seen it. We saw it with like the stuff that happened in the women's division over the years, with just like, I think there's a lot of people, it's all friends wrestling, they make the jokes, but it's just like, there's not those dynamics in the back to kind of sustain a locker room. And when you have someone like Punk, who's used to more structure, and you have instances like this with big personalities, and obviously when the elite, they have so much power, and that's kind of where this stuff started. And then the Perry incident happened later. it's a whole different animal, but it was so cool to hear him just be able to talk about the Jack Perry stuff, being like, I don't want to talk about it, but I can. There's nothing saying I can. He's like, because I like it's just one of those things, and just hearing like how it laid out, and you forget it's like, oh my god, that was that night where he went out and he kicked off the show with Samoa Joe. It's just like it's just crazy to hear it, because it's like we hear the rumors and we hear all these incorrect facts, and we hear little pieces of stuff that might be truth, but it's so cool, because I feel like a lot of the times when we get that stuff, we don't get the actual thing. And CM Punk, I have no reason not to believe the stuff coming out of his mouth, because like you said, you could tell this dude's uncomfortable talking about it. He's not enjoying it, but we know CM Punk is someone who's like always like, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to say what happened. And it didn't look good for AEW, but at the same time, I kind of came away being like, you know what? It did kind of remind me that, be like, yeah, we can shit on it, but it's just like, I think the way we look at it, it's so different, because yeah, it's not a business. It's not meant to be sustained as a business, but it's Tony Khan's vanity project. So it doesn't fucking matter. As long as he cares, like they don't need to draw. So like, it's one of those things, like, why do we waste so much time complaining about it when it literally doesn't matter? He can sign his indie-rific talent. They can go out there, have their flippy dippy matches and have all wrestling and have very little storyline. And it doesn't matter, because there's a small audience that fucking is diehards, as you found out on Twitter last week. They are fucking loyal, and they are fucking rabid, and they have a lot of time in mommy's basement. So it just, yeah, it's just a wild way to think about, because we've never really seen anything like it. And it's hard for, I think, everyone to kind of wrap their mind around it. But the Punk, him going into the Hangman stuff, we got so much good stuff out of this interview, man. So much good stuff.
The one thing I will take away from this entire thing, and I think every wrestler that like we understand this is like this weird thing where like it's wrestling, there has to be a curtain of kayfabe and all that other stuff, and like they're trying to protect whatever's left of the whole secret society of it. But what he did for that hour and a half was negate every report that came out against him. And if more wrestlers did that, we wouldn't have dirt sheets. We wouldn't have, well, we would, but people would fucking not be as potent with their reach. And I think that's important, is like, we can say whatever we want about CM Punk, right? But he fucking basically trashed every report and journalist, quote unquote journalist, that, he did say, and he did give, props to Ariel, saying like, no, I'll say it to you because I respect you. So I think like people should go out on a limb here and tell what's going on sometimes, because people need to be put in their place to not trust these fucking people who make it worse. They make it completely worse, and most likely have made it. You can say what you want about WWE or AEW and the tribalism. We want wrestling to be good. And when you decide that you're a quote unquote journalist doing something, you're making it worse by interjecting an opinion that is not true. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I have, is that's why we don't talk about dirt sheets on this program. We don't. We react. That's it, because we respect whoever gets through those ropes. So I feel like anybody that's kind of sitting there saying something, just realize like you're pulling at fucking straws here. You don't know shit. You don't know anything.
And yeah, I think the one thing, because I think a lot of people just ignore it, because I think it's one of those things, like, especially when you're like someone who's famous and you have like a PR team and stuff, they tell you like you just don't address those things because it gives them more power almost. But in wrestling, it is that interesting paradox, because I think they already have so much power, because there are so many people who just want to know and care so much. It's like it's like TMZ. It's like they just need that gossip. It's like what you see, like the craze around celebrities, like, oh my God, what did Taylor Swift do today? That's how a lot of these fucking internet dorks are on the internet. It's just like, and look, I'm someone who loves understanding and knowing things too. It's human nature to want to understand and know more and behind the scenes. But this type of stuff is never really like, I watch wrestling to get away, and I like seeing the characters. Like, it's cool if I find out someone's awesome in real life, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll like them more. But it's one of those things, like, I don't need to know all the details of things that happen behind the show. Like, if you want to do a documentary down the line, I can watch it and be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But that's why for me, like, that stuff I don't care about, but there is such a fucking want for it. And that's how these people are profiting on it. But when you get that, you get the misinformation of people just making shit up for, like you said, clicks. But then there's also people being like, it's just like any sort of reporting. You give them kind of some false news to kind of push a narrative in a certain way. And the big thing I took away, and when Punk talked about how he hated that press conference, because he gets out there and he sees all the reporters, they're all the ones that are friends. He didn't say it directly, but they're all friends with like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and all these guys. And he knows, he's he's like, this is all bullshit anyways, because all these guys are in their pocket. And so that to me is the funniest thing, because we've obviously all know it, we preach it, but some people be like, they're not biased. But it's just you understand like what going back and thinking about how insane Punk seemed during that presser, but it's because he got out there and was immediately agitated by seeing all these fucking dorks who are just fucking touters for like the people in the back. So it just, all those little nuggets like that, it was just funny to see him like actually say it. Like it's things that we had an idea of, but to hear him actually say it's like, damn, man. Oh, it's good shit.
All right, I think we're good there. I think we've talked about it enough. So anything else? You just want to be excited for WrestleMania XL?
I'm excited. Oh, you're saying XL now. You kind of threw me off by calling it by its correct name, Nestlemania. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Finish the story, Cody.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoy every part of this week, whether it's wrestling on any program or just anything else on any type of content. We will be back next week with a huge reaction for the entire week. So we will watch you. Sorry, we'll be next. I can't even talk. I'm tired. We'll be back next week with some more jobber knockery.
Finish the story.